In some cases, is it fixable? Once again, I want to say, the Woman Tells novel takes you through situations and decisions that a couple made, right, wrong, or indifferent. They made a conscious choice to seek happiness somewhere else, from someone else, simply because I guess they didn't know how to love each other. They broke every love language that there is. You know, society has a way of just putting labels on everything, and, you know, everything is a 1, 2, 3, you know, this is how you do it. And they have listed love languages because I looked it up, I researched it, I've researched relationships and everything, because if you're going to write about something, you should really know what you're talking about. However, and just bear with me, because we're just having a conversation tonight and I'm just talking, sharing my heart, doing the release. I won't have you long. But society and Google lists love languages as, I think the first one is words of affirmation. They list quality time. And let me stop there, because I think that is a very good one. If you love someone, it should just be a no-brainer that quality time is a necessity. Spending time with the one that you love should not be a chore. It should be a prize. And making that person feel like they are important in your life is something that you should always want to do, making them feel like they are a priority. Physical touch, need I say more? So I will say this, you know, chapters 2 and 3 of The Woman Tells, it really goes there. So physical touch, I'm not going to even say anything. If you don't have the book, please go buy it, because it talks about it and it really goes there. Very entertaining. And last but not least, you know, society lists love languages as acts of service and receiving gifts. And I want to say that all of those things that they have listed are good. However, if you have seen any of the press releases that I've been on, or any of the talk shows and podcasts or whatever else, I talk about in my press release my own list of things that I feel, what things I felt were a necessity in order for a relationship to function, in order for you to just get out the gate. Once again, I say, it's always our responsibility to communicate to our partner what's working and what's not working. Maybe this is not working for me. You know, you need to do that a little bit different. Or, you know, hey, I'm feeling this. You know, you have to be able to communicate what works for you. And in the case that your partner doesn't know, this statement here, ignorance of the law is no excuse, I think that that's wrong. Ignorance of the law is an excuse due to the fact that you did not communicate what your deal breakers actually are. Deal breakers and communicating those are a must. That should be stated up front when you are together with a person in a relationship. Communication should be second nature. So let's talk about the love languages that I actually listed. I feel in a relationship, let's just start with, and I think they're very basic. The first one is respect. Just considering my feelings when you're out there moving around. You know, you're looking at it as, you know, I want you to think about, how would she feel about this? You know, if I did this, how is this gonna, what kind of strain is this gonna put on the relationship? And vice versa. If I do this, how is that gonna look for him? Honor me. Just remembering the obligation that we said that we were going to have between each other. I got to say, go back to chapter 2 and 3, because although, you know, the book, you know, goes there and is, you know, touching on a subject that a lot of people probably do not like to talk about, the paramour did his damn job, if I got to say so. Chapter 2 and 3. Support. Having your partner's back, regardless of any situation, that's important to me. Having my back. Any situation or circumstance, you should have my back. That includes kids, friends, and I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers, mama, you know, and mama can't step out of line. I've probably stepped out of line with my kids a few times with their little situations or whatever else. I try to be respectful of that, and I try to think about certain things. But, you know, as moms, we get really caught up and we're very overprotective. But sometimes we cross that line. So I'm saying, whomever that crossed that line, as far as your significant other, your partner, your spouse, whatever you calling them, it is your job to respectfully let people know, hey, let's not go there. Let's do the kumbaya. Let's stay together. You should never support bad behavior coming from anyone. Loyalty, that's a given. That's just being committed. When we got in this relationship, that should be kind of like second nature. And I want to say my last one, I get a lot of questions about this, definitely when I am doing podcasts and different things. The first question when they talk about my love languages that I listed, they ask me, what do you mean by code? Okay, let's talk about that. Code is very basic. It's your principles, your morals, your beliefs, your standards. That's not crossing that forbidden line. That invisible line that we don't see, but you know it's there. Not crossing that. Basically, it's guidelines that you set for your bond, your expectations that you guys have worked out and talked about and communicated. Let me say this. Expectations are merely an assurance and an amalgamation of what you need and a unification to feel confident and secure in a relationship. Both sides, not just her, not just him, but both of you need to feel comfortable in a relationship. It's two people coming together, mending as one. That love language. I go back to saying communication is key. And if you are serious about the person you're with, someone, whomever, whatever kind of relationship, it doesn't necessarily have to be an intimate relationship, just a friendship. There are just things that you do and you don't do, things that you support, things that you just are loyal to with the relationship you are in. I have to say, you have to be willing in a relationship to communicate your love language in any way your partner can effectively hear it. I taught at Hamburger University, and they, when you're teaching, they say that people learn in different and various ways, visually, audible, hands-on, or whatever the way it is. If you're with someone, you know how they move, you know what makes them tick or whatever else, and you know if they're listening to you or if they're watching a basketball game or soap opera. You know what times you should know how to effectively communicate. So, with that being said, I'm not going to hold you that long, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about love languages, because you hear me saying that a lot in my press release and different things that I'm doing. However, I like to leave this with you. I invite you to self-reflect. Research and develop your own love languages. Just make sure that you're doing self-homework. And last but not least, don't let anybody dictate to you what works for you, because you should know what works for you. Make sure that the relationship is not half-cocked or one-sided. Everything is what she want to do. Everything is what he want to do. That's not love. Relationships are coming to a common ground sometimes. Sometimes you have to do things that you're not totally fond of, but hey, this makes him happy, this makes her happy, let's do it. Let me leave you with a couple of quotes, and I'm sure you've seen them on Facebook and a lot of places. Lover, liar, lust. Which one are you in the relationship? How do you define happiness? Well, in the book, I thought it was me. However, at the event, you find out that it's otherwise. I guess you got to move the hell on. Who's that creeping in my window? My advice to you, and let me give you this advice. Either you put your alarm on for protection and guard your heart, or you turn it off and go see who's coming through that window. It might just be your Prince Charming or a great surprise or your princess. You finish it, whatever way you want to write it. That's the way I wrote it. P or pride? Which one do you like? I'm going to tell you about me. I like to be accommodating, very accommodating. And last, let me say this. I am who I am. And self-satisfaction is a preference, no matter what the outcome is. So, I think I've talked enough about love languages. I've said a couple of quotes, and I just like to take the time to just toast those of you who took the time to get on and spend this with me for my release. I didn't want it to be a long, drawn-out thing, but I just want to say thank you. And take that time to self-reflect. Take that time to just do the homework that you need to do in order to make your relationship successful. So I toast you, and I thank you. And right now, I'd like to invite you to review the signing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, come on. Please me, baby. Turn around and just tease me, baby. You got what I want and what I need, baby.
Let me hear you say,
please.
Let me hear you say,
please. Please me, baby. Turn around and just tease me.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We enjoyed you. Please enjoy your night. Take care.
you say,
Please.
lollipopping, twerking in some J's on the dance floor. No panties in the way. I take my time with it. Bring you close to me. Don't want no young dumb shit. Better fuck me like we listening to Jodeci. I was trying to lay low, taking it slow. When I'm fucking again, hey, gotta celebrate. If your man look good, better put him away. If you can sweat the weave out, you shouldn't even be out. There no reservations at the pussy, you gon' eat out. I'm gonna ride it, do it just how you like.